Alright, here is what you're gonna see in today's video. We went and picked this Terradisk up here yesterday, Sunday, April 11th, with the 8320. We've got the 9560 all put back together. I ended up taking that back to the field that the girls were chisel plowing on, and that's where we had done some of the reseeding of the alfalfa, and I used the 8320 to go over to Kaz equipment and pick this up. Now, I thought it was going to be raining here yesterday, and all we really planned on doing was going and getting this implement and getting it set up for when the weather straightened around and we were going to throw this in the field. However, I was able to do a little bit with this tool here last night, and then today we ended up hooking the 9320 to it, and we did some ground here that was injected with manure. The salesman came out today and we did some settings, made some adjustments to it and used it here some, and then we got rained out. And I didn't video anything that has been done here today. Once the weather breaks, we'll do an authentic video of this unit here. So enjoy the rest of the video. I thought I would just give you somewhat of an intro to what you're going to see in today's video. So we're getting a nice rain shower here, and I'm going to head back to the shop and work on a few things here. So thanks for watching, folks. Well, it is Sunday morning and we are back in Lafayette with the 9560. We got this going here late last night, and I rode it around the dooryard here this morning, checked things over, assured myself that everything was a-okay. Now we are going to hook it back up to the chisel plow. I thought it would be raining here by now, but it's not. We're gonna run it around some, get it up to operating temperature when it's hooked to a piece of machinery, and make sure everything's gonna be okay here. The other thing that we have to do, we have to take the 8320 over to Kaz here at some point, so we've got to get that done as well. And yeah, we'll just have to see what that turns into here. So we'll check back with you here once we get hooked up to this chisel plow, run it around some, and it's starting to get some misty drops on the windshield here. So I'm hoping that it starts raining, but we'll take what we can get here. So let's get over to the chisel plow. Alright, we're just circling around here. We're going to get out on the road, get this moved up to the next farm. And hopefully it starts raining here in a while. Alright, so we have just pulled into Kaz. Look, there's a new 8R 310. That is nice. Alright, so this is what we're going to do. We're going to hook onto that piece of equipment right there. They've got that all ready to go. We're just going to sneak in on it here. Hook up to it. Head back to Lafayette. So this has got a hydraulic tongue, hydraulic jack on it here, so we're gonna have to get positioned onto it here, and then we'll get our hoses hooked up and we'll get it figured out. I can't get lined up here holding the camera, so we should be lined up better to it right now. Alright, so we gotta get some hoses hooked up here, and then we'll join back up with you here in a few minutes. Well, after we get this hooked up, we'll run over and we'll look at that new 310R sitting right there. Alright, so we are all hooked up now, getting ready to pull on out of here, but before we do, we are gonna walk over here, and they have another Pottinger Terradisk that has to be put together yet, so we'll show you how they are shipped into these dealerships here. It's on a couple of crates here, and I am not sure if this is the same model as we're hooked onto or not. The one that we have is a 6-meter unit, and the one that we're hooked onto now is a 10-meter, which that's roughly 32 feet or something like that. This looks like it is the same size as the one that we're hooked onto, and they also have an 8-meter unit, and then they've got some smaller ones that are smaller than. They also have some models that are smaller than the one that we have here. So this here is the rubber rolls. We have metal rolls on the 6-meter unit that we have, and it looks like this has a better scraper here. It's got some hardened edges on it. At least that's what it appears to be on the actual scraper itself. And then the U-bolt that holds the scraper on there, looks like that's 10mm material U-bolt, and the U-bolts that are on the scrapers that are on our 20-foot unit, which is roughly 6 meters, is like 1/4 inch. So that looks like that's a little better design there. And then these rubber rolls, I think we're gonna like them a lot better than the metal rolls. These ones aren't as deep as the metal ones. The metal ones are real deep, and if you have a scraper that gets knocked off, the dirt really gets packed in there, and you need an air chisel to get it apart. Now on these disc units here, they are the same design as the unit that we currently have right now, and what it has is a rubber piece of round stock. There's 4 of them around that square tube, and that is what is used as your spring cushion for each disc unit itself. And these disc units run in pairs. So we're gonna run over here and we're gonna look at this 8R310, and then we're gonna roll on out of here. It's starting to sprinkle here a little bit, and I thought it would be raining by now, but it has not. So this tractor here, I glanced at it for a second before we got completely hooked up. This is basically the same tractor as what we have hooked onto the Terradisk here. And then on this tractor, it is set up right. It's got the spacer on the inside wheel put on there correctly, and then it's got the actual tube that goes in through the dual hub itself on there, so that you can drain the oil from this one or check it. And then of course you've got the center plug there. On our 8R360 or our 8360R, that one does not have the hole in the hub for this tube to be put in through it. So this is quite the nice looking tractor here. They had an 8R340 up to their Watertown store, which is just a little bit bigger than this one. I don't know if there's a model between the 310 and the 340 or not, but I would assume that there isn't, and this is the exact match to the 8320R. This one's got 5 remotes on it, and it also has the capability of doing 540 small 1000 and large 1000. It currently has the large 1000 RPM shaft in it. We'll just jump up in the cab here quick. Door handle, if you notice, is on the bottom of the door instead of up on the side, like right about here. This one here is not leather interior, but it's got a real nice heavy-duty cloth seat in it, which I think is better than the leather. It's got the larger 4600 processor. It's got the Harley bars in here, several of those. And this one is the E23 transmission. You have the power shift, which we have in the 8320R. The 7290 has the IVT, and this one is a 23-speed power shift, which is similar to the transmission that is in the articulator. The 9410 and the 9560 also have this dial here, and you can kind of set your speed in which you want to, the speed range that you want to be in, and then it'll kind of put the tractor in the gear that it needs to be in according to how much power or how many RPMs that is called for out of the tractor. So this is quite nice inside. Got a little bit different of a power strip there alongside the window, and it's got several ports over on the other side. So we better roll on out of here and get back to Lafayette. I wonder if this is the refrigerator here. No, that's just a box full of manuals. So we'll go ahead and get this shot, and we'll head on back to Lafayette here. All right, we are on the Naughton farm here now in Lafayette. This farm is the furthest farm that we have to the east, and it is just shy of halfway between us and the dealership. We demoed the 9900 chopper here and the 9800 chopper over on that field on the other side of the road here. So this hayfield here, we're gonna actually plow and flip it over to corn. Now that unit there is our 20-foot Pottinger Terradisk, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna unfold this, and we're gonna go ahead and get started with it. So this isn't exactly the tractor that we're going to use on this Terradisk. However, I thought I would unfold this and we would walk over to the other unit there and just kind of compare the two of them to each other here. And then we'll go over into the field that they're chisel plowing in now, and we'll put it in the dirt and run it around some. So this one here folds up a little differently than the other one. That older unit there, that folds up vertically, and it actually sits a little higher than this one. So we'll continue to unfold this one here. I don't really know a lot about this as far as the actual operation of it, but we'll try to get things figured out here and get it in the dirt. It is sprinkling a little bit, however, it is so stinking dry that the little bit of moisture that we have gotten so far is really not going to affect the ground conditions and how they are right now. So yeah, so we have a few things to figure out here, and then we're gonna go ahead and get started with it here. Alright, so we have these units kind of parked next to each other here. We'll run over and take a look at this one quick. And this new one here, the wheels in the back are very similar to the wheels that are on the smaller unit there. However, these wheels are rubber. So there's not as much of a gap here between the two wheels. There's only about 2 inches there. These scrapers are a little they're a little more heavy duty than what you're going to see on that older unit there. The U-bolt here that attaches it to this 2.5 inch square tube, or 2 inch, whatever size that is a little more heavy duty. And as I noticed here on that unit that wasn't put together, it appears that there is a hardened surface put on the actual scraper itself. So that looks like that's put together a little better. These rubber wheels do cost more to get them on the unit opposed to these steel wheels here. Now there's about 3 different configurations that you can get this in. You can get this style wheel, the rubber, and then there's some kind of a like a wide wheel that's about that wide, and they're kind of staggered, and there might even be a S-tine or something that goes on the back here. I'm not quite sure, but as you can see on these steel wheels here, there's about a 4 inch to a 4.5 inch gap between the edge of the wheel and the actual drum itself. And these scrapers are you know, they're a little more they're not as heavy duty as the other one there, and it doesn't take much to break these off, and then before you know it, you've got dirt packing in between the wheels. And in order to get that dirt out, it packs in there so tight you have to get an air chisel to take that out of there. Now these discs are the same size as the discs that are on the same style as the discs that are on that new one. And I see we have a bolt broke here, so we've got to get that fixed. We've had trouble with these bolts bolting this wing assembly on here, but that is what it is. Now this unit here is a 6001, which is it's 6 meters, and this one here is a 10001T. The 10 stands for 10 meters, and as you can see, this is quite a bit bigger than the other one that we have. So I don't know if I exactly have this thing figured out, but we're gonna go ahead and take it over into the field that they've plowed over there. Again, this isn't the tractor that we plan on pulling with this. Primarily, we're going to be pulling this with the 8560, the 90, or the I'm sorry, the 9560, the 9410, and the 8360. We'd really like to see the 8360 be able to handle this. Therefore, we can use the 9560 on it and the 8360 for when we are in the field, getting things ready to plant wheat. Now this appears to have brakes on it. This is a slack adjuster here. I don't know if it's got an air, it must have an air canister or something to be able to bolt to there. But that's what that there is it's actually got brakes on there. Must be for the other countries that this unit goes into. They must have to have brakes put onto this. So look at the size of this actual cylinder. That is one big you know what. Man. All right, so let's see if we can figure this out and get it into the field here. All right, we've made one pass along the hedgerow there, and it is doing pretty good. Now this ground here was chisel plowed yesterday. The girls are actually plowing down on the other side of the hedgerow there. We got Alex in the 8360, just in that corn strip on the other side of that hay strip there. And then Sarah's down on the side hill of the 9560. So we've made one pass up and back through the field here, and this is doing rather well. Now again, this is not exactly the tractor that we're gonna be pulling with this. However, we're doing pretty good. I'm running right at 7.5 miles an hour. 2,000 engine RPMs with a lot of power to spare. I think the 9560 is just gonna play with this thing, but this is what we want to use it for. We want to go into the chisel plowed ground and use this ahead of the corn planter. And as you can see, it's leaving a real nice seed bed there. Now this isn't anything that we're going to plant here anytime soon, so we're just kind of testing this out. I wanted to see how it worked. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over into that field that they have not plowed yet, and we're going to see how it does in the actual corn stubble, because we'll have to actually mimic what we're going to be doing when we prepare the ground to plant wheat into. Usually all we do is chop the corn off, run the Pottinger 20-foot tool ahead of the grain drill, and then that's all we do before we plant wheat. So we're going to pull out of this field right over here, and we'll go into that corn stubble and we'll try it out over there. Okay, so we've made one pass up across this corn stubble field. This field was chopped back last fall. And what I'm doing is I'm just kind of testing this out to see how hard it pulls in the corn stubble, because what we want to do is we want to utilize this tool in the fall to rip up corn stubble just prior to planting wheat. And this 320 handles this thing very easily. So we will not have any problem at all pulling this unit with the 85 or the 9560 or the 8320. So we're going to go over now and check on the 9560. Sarah's been plowing with that for a couple of hours here, and I just want to make sure that it is in working order. She's just on the other side of this house here. All right, this is what the ground looks like after we have gone over it with the Pottinger Terradisk. Now this has been chisel plowed, of course, and we just made one pass over the top of it here. This is my oldest daughter, Alex, running the 8360. Andrew, he is spreading box stall manure. He loves running the 4450 and loading himself with the telehandler and whatnot. And he has kind of passed this job on to Alex. So this is stony ground here. That's why she's going so slow. We've got some pretty good sized stones on this side hill here. And Sarah's coming up in behind her. She's going to take the last pass down through here. and then they can start ripping off these headlands. And then they're gonna have the Morris farm here done, and they've got to move over to, they've got one field over on Webb Road here to do yet. So we're gonna see if we smell anything on this 9560 when Sarah passes us by here. I don't foresee there being any problems with it. She has stopped and checked the oil several times here to make sure that we don't have any oil going into the coolant like we had here on what day was that? Thursday, I guess it was. It's Sunday now. When she was plowing on her first day, we had some problems with the engine oil mixing with the coolant. If you go back to the last video here, you'll see the problems that we had with it. So it sounds mean. Sounds like she's doing real good there. So bump up, let's go. Bump up a couple gears. See if she can hit it. Go, hit it. Grab a couple more. That tractor's got about 6 less shanks than what it can pull. It plays with that chisel plow. And all I can smell is fresh dirt, which is a good sign. We don't have any coolant smells or anything. So we're gonna let these guys get this done. Alex has moved on to that other field over there. So we'll head on over, we'll get this unhooked and get the 20-foot Terradisk taken home.